back, and on this episode of The Health Cake, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite and or least favorite subjects, sugar. And this is going to be a very interactive episode. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think. And it's going to be also a very visual episode. And I know whenever I sat down and actually did this experiment for myself, it really impacted me a lot. My name is Tabitha, and I am a sugar addict. My family, my paternal side of my family has a running joke, actually. I have two small children, one's 3, one's 5, and my 3-year-old is also a sugar addict. And we don't see my family very often. We live kind of far away. So when we went to my cousin's baby shower and saw that whole side of the family, one of my children, my 5-year-old, really does not enjoy cake, cookies, or candy at all. And I'm not knocking her, and I don't force her to have it by any stretch of the imaginations. Why would I do that to her? But at the baby shower, she had carrots, she had broccoli, she had all of these really healthy foods, strawberries, pineapples, on her plate. My 3-year-old couldn't wait for them to cut the cake, on the other hand. So my whole paternal side of my family says, oh, she's a Campbell, because it's in our genes to be addicted to sugar. It's something that I do struggle with daily. I have all kinds of little things set up in my kitchen so that I cannot overindulge in sugar. I have a measuring scoop in our sugar container that when I have coffee, I can only have so much, because if I just go at it, I will add a lot of sugar to my coffee. I only drink teas I don't need to sweeten. I do have Truvia in my cabinet in case I get an urge for something super sweet, and even I like hot drinks. So I try to do apple cider, and there's a diet hot cocoa made by Swiss Miss that has vanilla whey protein in it that I prefer to the regular hot chocolate now because of the sugar content. And the slippery thing about sugar addiction, like any addiction, is you're an addict. So when you slip up one time, it's really hard not to just say and justify, oh, well, I already messed up today. I may as well just go at it. It's really hard to stop it right there, just like any other addiction. It's kind of crazy. So I'm hoping with this information, you can become more aware of whether or not you're a sugar addict, and you can also look around you at your family, especially your children, and help them to learn healthy habits from the get-go and not to feed their sugar addiction, which is something that, like I said, I struggle with my youngest. She and I are sugar addicts together in the same house, and it can be a little touchy. So first, let's start with the daily allowances of sugar. A lot of people email me or call me and they're like, Coach, I don't know what to do. How much sugar am I allowed to have? And in this day of processed food in America, it's tricky. But for men, you should not exceed about 55 grams of sugar per day. You shouldn't. And the only reason that men get so much is your metabolism is a little different. Women, we're sitting right at 40 grams of sugar a day. My average day when I'm really focusing tends to be about 45, 46, so I still have a little bit of work to do. Children should not exceed 15 grams of sugar a day. That's the really tricky part. When you look at their breakfast cereal, if you're giving them the normal breakfast cereals, there's a lot of sugar there. Children's yogurt, the Go-Gurts, the Danimals, the drinkable things, even the scoopable yogurts, tend to be 12 grams of sugar, and that's their whole day. Their whole day in that one item. So we need to be a little more conscious, and we need to be label readers, especially for our kids, and we need to help them understand what's going on. Now, for an illustration, I have all of these fun things. So I have an illustration, and it's with all of these fun things. Number one, let's talk about everybody's favorite sugar addiction item that they will justify to the ends of the earth. I know whenever I have a bad day, I tell my husband, oh, I just want a fountain Coke. Seriously. Makes me feel better than a glass of wine. So we're going to pretend this is a 12-ounce can. In public awareness and public service, Coke has shortened their cans to a 7.5-ounce can, but in a 12-ounce can of Coke, you have 2.6 tablespoons of sugar. All of this sugar, all of this is dissolved in a 12-ounce can of Coke. Now for this 7.5-ounce can, I would only take out 1.5 teaspoons. Still want some? Let's move on, shall we? It gets better. So this is a 20-ounce Coke. You will see children walking the streets and they will consume an entire one of these. You'll see grown-ups who will drink 2 or 3 of these in a day in an office. I've seen it happen. All of this sugar, this is 4.3 tablespoons of sugar, is in this Coke, dissolved in here. Now don't send me any emails, it's high fructose corn syrup. I don't care, it's sugar. This is how much is in here, okay? There's a lot of sugar in 20 ounces of liquid, right? So here's 1 liter. Let's try that again. The liter, we're going to take both of these bags and put them into 1 bag. And as I told our producer Alfonso this morning, I actually ran out of sugar for this episode, so you're going to add another tablespoon in your mind for this one. So in 1 liter of cola, there are 108 grams or 7.2 tablespoons of sugar. And as I said, add another tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons. All of that sugar is in that bottle of Coke. You still want that? You go to McDonald's and you get their big super duper cup of Coke, it's almost that much. If you go to your local convenience store and or gas station and get their big gulp or whatever it is for 99 cents when everything else costs 89 cents, so it looks like such a deal, that's what you're drinking, okay? 108 grams. Men, you are now 48 grams over your max. Women, you are 68 grams of sugar over your max. And for the children who are walking around drinking this, 65 grams of sugar. 50 grams over the maximum of what they should have. It's insane. It's horrible for your teeth. It's horrible for your stomach. It's very acidic. Don't do it. That's my anti-soda rant for the day. We're going to move on though. It gets better. We're going to do a segment of Eat This, Not That. Now, if you've been reading some health and fitness magazines, they do Eat This, Not That. Okay, so for the last part of our talk about sugar, we're going to do a little bit of Eat This, Not That. And on the pictures, you're going to see cubes of sugar that represent how much sugar is in each snack. And you may be surprised of what you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating. Let me set my bags of sugar aside. Okay, so it's going to be hot this summer. It's going to be awesome. Everybody loves frozen yogurt, right? And if you've had a really bad day, it's frozen yogurt. You might have a whole pint, right? Wrong. In a pint of frozen yogurt, you have all of these sugar cubes. I do believe it's 17. In just one little half a cup serving, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 sugar cubes. It's hot, it's summertime. Eat this. A popsicle, 2 sugar cubes. Not that, not the frozen yogurt. And you know if I'm telling you about frozen yogurt, ice cream is worse, okay? So, eat this popsicle, not this half a cup of frozen yogurt. And the awesome thing about popsicles is you can make your own. So, and I'm not saying go buy some Kool-Aid and freeze that. You can blend up strawberries and pineapples and watermelon and add lime juice or add lemon juice and then add some water and then add some ice and then freeze it. And you've got a fantastic popsicle. You can Google popsicle recipes with fresh fruit. You can also look on Pinterest. There are a lot floating around right now because it is going to be summertime. Craisins. Now, we hear all the time about how craisins are a good healthy snack. It's a cranberry. There's very little sugar in a cranberry, right? Right. The problem with craisins, they add sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 sugar cubes in raisins. Whereas if you get some super yummy yogurt covered raisins, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So you may as well have something that you're going to enjoy and have less sugar while you're at it. And that's my cautionary note for dried fruit. Read the label. A lot of times they do add sugar. High fructose corn syrup especially. I love dried cherries, and one of the all natural brands added high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, super all natural. Finally, for eat this, not that, you want some yogurt, but you don't like the fat-free kind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3/4 sugar cubes. Just go ahead and get the fat-free and learn to like it. 1, 2, 3.5. Better yet, forget this stuff altogether and get Greek yogurt. It has 2 times the protein, it's naturally fat-free, and there's no sugar. Sometimes they sweeten it with honey, but usually it's just fruit. All right, folks, my last piece of information for you is a little bit of advice on how to choose better foods for yourself. I'm going to, at the end of this, in our blog, we're going to post a link to Michi's Ladder. And what Michi's Ladder is a tool to help you choose foods that are a better nutrition level than the foods that you're currently eating. So it's going to look like this. If you print it out, it's about 6 pages. This is tier 1. It's called the pious tier because it's the healthy foods. Tier 5 is called I think it's the Newberg tier. These are the unhealthy foods. And what you're going to do when you get this, when you click on this link, or if you can't wait for us to get our blog together, go ahead and put Google Michi's Ladder and look for one, and you want the one with 5 tiers. Don't look at the ones that are only 2 tiers. You can print it out or on your computer, highlight where the foods you tend to eat are, and the idea is if the foods that you eat are in the 4th and the 5th tier, you want to look in the higher tiers for foods with the same properties, proteins, carbs, fats, and find healthier replacements to swap out into your diet. So for example, tier 5, the very last item, coffee, mocha, macchiato, ice blended frappe, triple caramel vanilla, buzz bomb, etc. Tier 5, you don't want to have that. So in tier 1, you've got black coffee. Simple things like that. And on that note, I'm going to ask you to please monitor what you're eating, pay attention to your sugar, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.